Rora is one of the singers from the group Babymonster, which I already did a react to. And her tone impressed me a lot, because in the recording, she was only 13 years old, and already had a very deep voice. I was eager to find another video of hers to react to. Actually, one found a few more, and one of them was that second one, which is exactly the song we are going to react to, Someone You Loved. So this is their performance at their debut in Seoul during the 2025 tour. This song talks about pain, losing a love due to betrayal. So it's a broken expectation and a deeper kind of pain. She had performed this song at her debut. There's a video of it on YG's channel. I listened to a bit of that song, but I wanted to react to it now, and since I didn't have time, I wanted to hear it here at the show. I'm glad she performed this exact song because I know that now her voice is much more mature. She is growing very fast, physically. And during this time I researched a few things about Babymonster, and I watched some short videos where you can hear her voice, both speaking and singing. And I was really quite impressed by how deep her voice is. So let's see what she delivers for us. What I can analyze from my perspective as a classical singer. Let's see what she brings us. Well-placed and projected voice. And in the lower range. And low with volume. She controls the volume, but there's a lot of volume within what we can perceive through the phone camera, but it's very noticeable. It's stable, it's in tune. She's really good.
Somebody to hear, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you won't let it play. I can take me tonight for...
Okay, let's see, because she switched to the higher range, and she is going to emphasize something she already does in the lower range. So she also already uses projection through covered voice. She places her middle voice in this cheek area, slightly lifting the soft palate, making that duck voice sound. She places it in the nose, but not exactly in the nose. She opens up this whole internal cavity so that she projects it into the cheek area. So she has a compressed voice in this mid-range. But at the same time, it's projected, not nasal and not metallic, as singers usually are, including male singers from East Asia, since they tend to have this vocal quality. But she is placing it up here, just like Farida does, and like Rami does, depending on the moment. They all do it, or at least try to, but some do it as an interpretative choice, while others are imitating. But all of them use the same technique. So, everything she's doing in the lower range, this projection placement with a rounded tone, she is applying in the low notes, and now, moving to the higher range, she has started to do the same thing. It's wonderful.
But it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you won't learn to play. Not safely to nightfall. And you're not here to give me freedom. I leave my guard down and then you prove it wrong. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love.
Hand on the waist. Back here near the kidneys, so she is focusing on diaphragmatic support. She's thinking about her diaphragm. It's great, but she needs to correct this, because she is a stage pop singer, and she can't do that. She has to be expressive, she has to be free. She has to be free, so that her expression flows more naturally, and she connects more. But it's 100% understandable that they do this, especially in moments of fatigue, as we saw in the other video. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, that's how it is. But she is thinking about her diaphragm, and her voice is really well supported. She is in tune. I only noticed a few moments where she slightly wavered in the tuning of some higher notes, but the voice is very well projected, and she is delivering a really high level of quality. There are always vibratos at phrase endings. She is executing this high note with balanced volume, not attacking it too strongly. There was a moment here when she added a bit more force, but then quickly pulled back. It was perceptible to me, or to other musicians, in her initial attack. I think it was on the first note, when she transitioned to the higher range. She added force but quickly pulled back. It was quite noticeable, because after that, she does. She repeats this sequence. So in this jump to the higher note, the first one was stronger, but in the others, she was more balanced, keeping great control. As for vibratos at the end of phrases, maybe in the lower range, she could have added more vibratos, although here, it's hard to tell, but she may have used some very subtly. But I did feel that maybe she could have added more vibratos in the lower notes, maybe because of this range, since it's harder to do. Or it might have been an interpretative choice. But it's beautiful. She did this. She went into head voice, which in classical singing we call this region chest voice. It's totally different. But here, it's her head voice, according to pop technique. But this higher note was imprecise in terms of pitch. It was well executed. She placed it where she wanted. In mixed voice or head voice, her voice is naturally deep. She really has a voice. It's a powerful voice. I mentioned this in the other video and I reinforce it now. It's a powerful voice. She's very young, only 14 or 15 years old, and she has a very deep voice. It's impressive. She's a contralto. That's why in this range, which isn't even that high, it's not a particularly high note for Babymonster standard, where the girls have more of a mid to high voice. She struggles to reach this note, so she is a contralto. Later, I'll mark down what her extreme notes are. But her voice is impressive, and there are two deep voices that really impressed me. One from NMIXX. Because her low notes are insane. She is rare. I have almost never come across contraltos who have such volume and such vocal projection in the low range as she does. And Rora here, I can see that she has the same characteristics as Helen. The technique is very similar. Okay, so here she makes some larger register shifts. The song changed its character. The interpretation is now done with the band, and the melody makes a few more jumps from higher regions to lower ones. And here, she executed both the lows and highs well. In this high note, there is a slight pitch imprecision. I wouldn't say it was out of tune, because it wasn't, but she hovered between the exact pitch and half a step off, some oscillation in this interval. And again in the high note. And it's not even that high of a note, her voice is just really deep. Now she made a transition to falsetto. From what we can hear here, it was delicate. It wasn't a sudden transition. Let's see how she transitions back. She actually came back with some delicacy. If she were at full volume, she would push this lower note, and it would be very abrupt, with too much force, but she didn't do it that way. The change from the delicacy of falsetto back to this region is noticeable. The problem is that the region is very low, and it is difficult to hit it precisely. And here at the end, it's that typical YG style ending. Blues and R&B placement, that kind of technique. Less volume in the voice, in quotes because she actually has an absurd volume here. But it's a more delicate region, placed in this mid-range, and with that sweeter tone. It's the end of the song, so this interpretation makes sense. She held the entire song in tune. Vibratos, very well placed in the mid and high range. She always used them. Only at the beginning perhaps, she could have added them in the lows, but maybe it was due to a technical limitation, or an interpretative choice. In any case, she placed them where she should have. But her voice is already very mature, aged compared to the other girls. Physically she is developing very quickly, and she has this contralto characteristic. And I have a problem, because I like all 7 voices, even though I still need to hear the rapper Ruka sing. I want to hear her tone. But I really like the tone of all the girls. In terms of technique, they all use the same ones, but each at their own pace, and with their own particularities. But here, I prefer Farida. I've already said everything about her tone. But Rora fascinates me because of her deep tone. Being a bass myself, I like bass and contralto voices. The low tones, it's pleasant to my ears. It's a personal preference. These voices appeal to me more. The delivery was wonderful. Again, I don't remember if this is the first or second day from the performance. Regardless of that, I think these covers were already made after the songs with dance performances. But she's doing very well. Her technique held up. Her diaphragm was excellent. What's being done with these girls is high level. Congratulations again to Rora. I'm really enjoying it. I've already said that I'm not a fan of Babymonster, and I only like the song I previously reacted to from the studio versions. I only liked Love Maybe. But as live singers, I'm finding it amazing to see these teenage girls and the company betting on this, taking these young girls and putting them into top-tier training to become renowned pop singers. And I'll dare to say they will surpass Blackpink. I think so, because they have all of YG's expertise in making compositions that already worked with Blackpink. Babymonster already has astronomical numbers too. But these girls, technically, are superior to the Blackpink members. Already. Now, at this age, they have much more technical complexity. I've already watched some of Blackpink's live performances. Rose is now taking risks in this new live journey of hers, which is beautiful and wonderful. But she doesn't have as rich a technique as theirs. Although she is also spectacular, I love listening to Rose. She's very sweet, very relaxed. She's very free now doing things and making a more band-oriented pop with rock the way I like it. It's very enjoyable to listen to her. She jumps into the crowd, dances, laughs on stage, does everything. It's wonderful to listen to her. She seems like someone who was let out of a cage. I really like it. But here are these girls. They are being placed on a much higher level. Now we are going to follow their rise, because that's all they'll do. Their trajectory is only upwards. Be patient, because they will stumble along the way. They will always have difficulties. That's normal. If you like this reaction video, leave your like and comment below. Subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, and consider buying me a coffee with the super thanks button or in the pinned comment via PayPal. This video will also be on Patreon, if available. Okay. So, see you later.